Welcome back. Our next debate question comes from Shelley Rabando. Shelley.
Fentanyl is killing more New Mexicans than any other street drug, and our current system lets the same offenders cycle through with no real consequence. Do you support mandatory drug treatment for drug offenders?
Mr. Keller, you go first.
You know, about 3 years ago, we came up with the Metro Crime Initiative, and it was a collaborative effort between the DA's office, the AG's office, and governor, legislator, and our police department. And this was one of the biggest changes that it put forth to the legislature, which is that we absolutely have to have various forms of ways to make sure that people get treatment. And the challenge has been that there's not enough treatment beds out there, even if we change that. So we have to do both. And that's what the legislature and our governor has been trying to figure out how to do. But I know for us on the street, I just want to echo the fact that fentanyl is the #1 problem facing Albuquerque, facing New Mexico, and facing America. And that's why I have continued to ask with urgency that we try and fix every aspect of the revolving door. Some of that means tightening up loopholes, but that also means where people can go that is different than jail, that actually is treatment. And we have to have that in our system. We test it out in a lot of ways, but we need it to be expanded by the thousands.
Mr. White, your reply?
Yes. A jail cell will never shake someone's addiction to drugs. And I do support diversion programs, but those diversion programs have to be tied to consequences. You heard the mayor talk about his efforts with fentanyl. Open air drug use has to stop in Albuquerque. You can go anywhere in our city and you see people just openly using fentanyl and other drugs. It's so brazen. People take pictures of it all the time. They're not even worried that the police department is going to stop them. It's also not compassionate. The mayor doesn't recognize, because I don't think he goes out there enough, there are people literally dying on our streets from overdoses every day. I saw a video last week where a woman was overdosing and somebody was spraying her with a power washer. That was happening right on our streets in Albuquerque. We have to get a hold of this problem with open air drug use. We have to provide some of these programs to divert them to programs to get treatment. But first and foremost, we have to enforce the law because it is unconscionable.
Time is up, Mr. White. Mr. Clark, you have our next question. Go ahead, please.
For many years, many people across the political spectrum have called on state lawmakers to reform and strengthen New Mexico's juvenile code, which has not been updated in decades. Yet it seems at the Roundhouse, anytime a significant proposal is introduced, it dies in committee. As mayor, what are your plans to help build more of a consensus to get meaningful change?
Mr. White, you go first.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. You know, our juveniles, our teens, can't even call them teens, some are even younger than teens. They're becoming more violent and they're becoming more vicious. You know, the gun doesn't know the age of the person that pulls the trigger on the gun. And the families of those victims, they don't care how old they are at all. They just want justice. We have tried, the DA and others have tried to get the legislature to act on these juvenile crime reforms. Our juvenile code was designed for kids that packed lunches, not guns, and yet they do nothing. And Mayor, you know, you talked about the International District. You were a state senator for 6 years. And you introduced a variety of bills, but you never personally introduced a crime bill, even though you were in one of the most dangerous districts in the state. Now, you introduced a bill to change the name to the International District,
Time is
but
up,
you
Mr.
didn't
White.
introduce
Mr.
bill,
Keller,
a
you
bill
have
to
1 minute.
fix the problems.
Go ahead, please.
Well, I want to clarify a couple of things. Our police arrest people for using and dealing fentanyl every day, and they do it hundreds of times a week. And so let's just be clear, the challenge is the problem is so big, it is not that we don't actually enforce the law. That alone as a comment is a complete anathema to an officer who has to do that every day. So let's just be really clear and respect the work that they do each day. I also know that I don't have to watch videos to know what's going on in our street. I see it every day. I am in the street every day. I saw an overdose literally yesterday when I was in the International District working on cleaning things up. I share that with you because I understand these issues. The difference is I'm proposing solutions. And just like violent crime, what Darren said, there was not an answer to anything in that question other than he supports the juvenile code reform, which I do also. But I have a whole plan to actually make our teens safer, to get guns off our street, and to keep them busy and out of trouble. That's what being a mayor means.
Our next question comes from Dan Boyd. Dan, go ahead, please.
Yes, the Albuquerque Rail Trail is projected to cost over $80 million, and the city has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration over the loss of federal funding tied to the project. Do you support continuing the rail trail at this cost? And how would you justify the expense to taxpayers, especially given the legal and political hurdles involved in recovering federal support?
Mr. Kelly, you go first.
Well, the rail trail is a generationally incredible project for our city and our state. It's such a big idea that every New Mexican will know about it, whether it's just like the tram or the zoo. And the idea is it's a 7-mile loop that connects downtown to Old Town and to the Bosque and back around to the rail trail, to the rail yards. And on that pedestrian parkway, we'll have restaurants, we'll have new developments, and we'll also celebrate our culture. The trail will tell the story literally of the history of Albuquerque through art and multimedia. So this is a project that will be a catalyst both economically and for some of our neighborhoods that need an extra lift. And so we've got to do this project. It's actually a 40-year-old project. The difference is I'm finally getting it done. We finished one phase down by Old Town that connects it to the sawmill, and we have multiple phases under construction. So absolutely we have to finish this. And we'll find the money, whether it's from the feds or it's from the state. This is going to take, by the way, more mayors than Darren and I. This is something that Albuquerque needs and every mayor candidate should commit to.
Mr. White, you also have 1 minute.
Yes, I support these types of quality of life issues and programs. I utilize the tramway bike path nearly every day. If my doctor asks, I do it every day. Unfortunately, as I walk that bike path, I start to see more needles, and I start to see nastiness that we shouldn't see on our on these routes that we use publicly. Look, I have a history of working across the aisle. When I was public safety director, I was the force behind us getting this 15-year statute of limitations removed for murder. 30 years ago, there was a 15-year statute. It's gone now. I also was instrumental in removing the 50% good time for violent criminals. It's now 85%. I will work with our delegation, I will work with our administration to ensure that we continue to get those funds so that we can move forward with these quality of life projects.
Thank you to both of you. Shelley Rabando has our next question. Shelley.
We've reported several stories this year about violence on ABQ Ride. Many people who rely on it to get to and from work say they don't feel safe. Should that service remain for free? Why or why not?
Mr. White, you go first.
Yeah. No, it should not be free. But that's just a Band-Aid. The real issue is tackling crime and homelessness. Look, the buses have become so dangerous. The deputy director of transit recently said that people are getting on the buses and they're socking our drivers in the face, breaking their nose. That's the type of violence that they're encountering. You know, we have to make our buses safer. The transit director recently said we need 100 officers to ride our buses so that we can make sure that they're safe. Look, that program for free buses was a pilot project. And as soon as it went into effect, it was reported that the crime increased 40%. It has been a miserable failure. We need to protect our bus drivers. We need to protect the public so that they can have access to that transit. And most importantly, the mayor should...
Time is up, Mr. White. Mr. Mayor, you also have a minute.
Well, that's the fourth question that has gotten the same answer from Darren White, which is crime. So it was wages, it was state fare, then it was rail trail, and then it was free fares, and we got the same answer every time. And it's because he doesn't have any real answers to any of the issues. He can just talk about crime. So, you know, free fares is the city council law, by the way, so a mayor can't change it automatically. And so the answer is, how do we keep our buses safe? That's really what the question is asking. That's why I've added transit security officers. We now have about 20 of them. That's why we're layering in our city security, and we're also laying in rented security, and it's a layered approach. That's why we're using technology like the CSAY app to report crime. And that's why crime incidents in our bus system are actually down 20%. So I believe it's not a trade-off. We can have free fares, and we can also have safe buses. That's what real leadership delivers on.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. It is now time for each of our candidates to give their closing statements. They will have 1 uninterrupted minute, and as a result of our drawing, Mayor Keller, you go first.
Well, I think what we've heard today is pretty clear. There's been one answer provided by Darren White, and it is to talk about crime, and the answer is to have some form of arrest. That is code. That is code for two things: a throwback to his public safety career that resulted in a no confidence vote from the state police department and a no confidence vote from the Albuquerque Police Department. That's why we should not have confidence in his ideas or how he would lead our city. It's also why we have to actually realize that this race is about something bigger. It is about fundamentally, are we going to move forward with ideas that are gaining traction and finally working, whether it's our community safety department, whether it's a rebuilt APD that's actually bringing crime down, or whether it's placemaking, safe places for our families where we can go, like the rail yards and like 7th and Central. That's what this is about, or it's about going backwards into an era of his own failed public safety record and Trump-style roundups and arrests. That's what this race is all about. That's why we need for Albuquerque to stay together and move forward on December 9th.
Time is up. Thank you. Mr. White?
Everything the mayor said tonight, he's been saying for the last 8 years. Tonight, this is his third election and the same failed promises. Yet, here we are. Crime is out of control. The homeless are taking over our streets. You know, I said if I'm elected, I will only serve 4 years. I want to get into the job. I want to roll up my sleeves, and I want to clean up the mess of failure. You know, it is a very critical, important election because that's why I say we're at a tipping point. Let me also say about what the mayor said about me. He loves to attach all these labels to me because when you're desperate to cling to power, you'll do and say anything, including lie to the public, to make sure that you are able to get reelected. I don't believe that's the right thing to do. Listen, I will elect a bipartisan cabinet of the best and the brightest. We have an opportunity to make change.
Mr. White, your time is up. Thank you to both of you. That concludes our debate. Now we want to thank the candidates for participating. Along with the runoff for mayor, 2 city council races are also going to a runoff. If you live in District 1, you'll also choose between Joshua Neal and Stephanie Tellez. And voters in District 3 will have the race between Teresa Garcia and Clarissa Pena. Early voting starts December 1st. It continues through December 6th. There are 17 voting locations open for this runoff election. Now, Election Day is December 9th, with more than 50 locations open throughout the city. If you've not registered to vote, you still can do so at the polls. And you'll be able to watch tonight's debate at KOAT.com, our app, and on the free Very Local app. And on the KOAT app and website, you'll also be able to jump right to the issue or issues that matter to you the most. I'm Doug Fernandez. Thank you for watching, and good night.